Hello and welcome, guys, once again to the Enqueue Sports YouTube channel, where we analyze various sports gears on a daily basis. Um, we have already focused on cricketing and footballing products. Now we will be focusing on sportswear, the garments that you usually wear during your sports games or sports training and sports related activities. So we are going to be discussing the technologies involved in the fabrication of sports clothing. This is something that all of you must have come across in your life while wearing your favorite sports t-shirts. Here, this thing, as it says, dry fit. Now, what is this dry fit? Dry fit is basically a technology that comes in sports clothing. Uh, uh, the fabric is quite similar to this particular t-shirt. It is different from traditional fabrics like cotton in a way that it is comprised up of microfibers, microfiber filaments that wick away the moisture from the shirt. Now, how does the moisture get wicked away from the shirt? That's a real question. Now, if you are wearing these dry fit t-shirts in the case of Nike, or Climacool t-shirts in the case of Adidas, as they call it, and drycell t-shirts in the case of Puma, as they call it. New Balance calls it NB Ice. Under Armour calls it Heat Gear. So basically, these are all patented names that each brand gives to the microfiber polyester made t-shirts for sports clothing. So when you wear one of these t-shirts, the thing that happens is that you sweat a lot, which is a norm in any sport. You obviously you sweat. And when you sweat and you're wearing a cotton garment, it easily gets wet and starts sticking to your body, which is extremely uncomfortable and unbearable at times. Now, what this particular fabric, this microfiber polyester fabric, or dry fit as you predominantly call it, is a fabric that drives all the moisture away from your skin and spreads it evenly on the surface of your t-shirt. Now, when it gets evenly spread on the surface of the t-shirt, it gets evaporated immediately, which leaves the shirt dry and your body a lot cooler and more comfortable. If you look closely at the composition of any polyester made microfiber t-shirt, you're going to see two variations. One variation would be this sort of fabric with a lot of holes in there. This is known as a mesh fabric, and these holes provide ventilation apart from the wicking technology, which helps to drive the moisture away. So it basically acts as a two-in-one medium to keep you dry and comfortable during your sports activities. The other fabric is the traditional normal polyester microfiber fabric, which obviously keeps you cooler by driving away the moisture, but it does not have any ventilation holes in it if you look closely. So there are a few set parameters for the garment to be classified as a dry fit garment, or Climacool garment, or a drycell garment as they call it in Adidas and Puma. Now, what are those parameters? I'm going to be discussing the brief outlines of those parameters. There is a term known as a denier or denier, as you most often call it, which is a term used to gauge the quality, the thickness or the thinness of a microfiber. For a microfiber to be termed as a polyester dry fit microfiber, the threading has to be less than 1 denier in size. If you put together about 6 kilometers of denier fabric together. It is going to weigh about 1 gram, which is nothing. So you can easily judge the lightweight technology involved in the fabrication of these t-shirts. So if you look here, this is a Puma t-shirt, which is obviously a microfiber polyester technology meant for sports. Puma calls it drycell, and I'm going to tell you what it is made up of. The inside part of according to the patents, the inside part of the fabric comprises of 2 times more deniers as compared to the outside. Okay, this is a tradition because the inside touches your skin, and it has a lot to do. The bulk of the work has to be done by the inside of this fabric. So the inside of the fabric is something like 0.7 of denier and 100 filaments, and the other side is probably 0.7 of a denier and 70 filaments of microfiber. Well, this is a patent mostly used by Nike, but it is not a hard and fast rule that each and every brand is going to use this particular thing, this particular parameter. Now, what happens when you use this microfiber technology? There are a lot of benefits apart from the moisture wicking technology. First of all, you can easily put these stickers, as you see these logos. These are stickers, vinyl stickers, heat transfer stickers, and then you can also put these zigzag badges on it. This is one thing that comes up in the polyester microfiber t-shirts, but this thing can also be done in cotton t-shirts. Now, what is that particular thing that makes this garment so special? I'm going to tell you about that. This is a print which is known as digital sublimation. If you rub your fingers over it, you are not going to feel any printing. So this particular printing can only be done on microfiber polyester materials, or dry fit as you call them. And this is the most popular sports fabric because you can literally make any design, any color of a sports kit using this particular fabric. You can print anything at the back, any name, number of a player, and this is something that is really loved by people. The customization of sports kits all involves polyester microfibers. Then apart from the shirts, when you come to the lower part of your body, the shorts even, they're made up of this polyester fabric. If you look closely, this moisture wicking fabric easily drives the moisture away from your legs, keeping you a lot cooler from the bottom. This particular fabric is most often used in base layers, the tight under t-shirt which you wear beneath your t-shirts to keep the sweating away and give you a lot more energy, and it prevents you from getting tired as well. So you can, just as I told you, you can make any color in this particular fabric. You just have to digitally sublimate the white fabric into looking blue, yellow, orange, red, or any color for that matter. Now we've discussed about the clothing, we'll come to the head part, the caps. Now this is a Nike dry fit cap. If you look closely, this fabric, a very light fabric, drives the moisture away, keeps you cooler. Then there are these ventilation panels, these mesh panels located on the side to keep the head dry. And both, as I told you earlier, both these fabrics, this microfiber polyester and this ventilated microfiber polyester, these are both classified as dry fit fabrics. In the case of Adidas, this is their version of the dry fit fabric, which they call ClimaCool, and it keeps you cooler during the hotter climates. If you look closely, this fabric has a lot of holes in the microfiber, and these holes help drive the moisture away and get it evaporated as soon as your head gets wet. So whatever we have discussed until now is meant for the better comfort of a sports player, because as a professional, when you are playing sports out there in the field, you don't have to worry about your attire, because if you worry about your attire, you just can't concentrate enough on your game. Some of these beautiful designs that you come across in your daily sporting life or while watching sports games, such beautiful designs are all courtesy of the microfiber polyester material, because you can't make such designs on cotton t-shirts. If you look at other variations of the polyester microfiber, which is polyester microfiber is obviously a synthetic fabric. It is not a natural thing. It is a synthetic thing. If you look at the natural alternatives, you're going to see a lot. You're going to see a lot of natural alternatives, but then again, they are too expensive. Not everyone can afford it. You can talk about nylon. Nylon is also an alternative to the polyester fabric, but it is not as efficient and as light in weight. It is quite heavy. So the players prefer this polyester microfabric a lot more than nylon. This was it. This was it for today, for all the basics involved in the manufacturing of the sports fabrics. In our upcoming episode, we are going to show you many different varieties of the sports fabrics and the nitty-gritties involved in the fabrication of those particular fabrics, and what some particular players around the world prefer while in the field. Golf players prefer something with the collar. Tennis players prefer something with the collar or without a collar. Footballers nowadays prefer the shirts without the collars. So, it varies if you compare various sports. If you talk about basketball, these kind of shirts look somewhat similar to tank tops, and the same microfiber technology is used in them to drive the moisture away during intense games and working out times of a basketball player. So stay subscribed to us, keep giving your feedbacks, and keep encouraging us to post more useful and informative material. Your suggestions are always welcome and are noted down. So we will be meeting in our next episode. Look forward to meeting you then. And until then, you have to stay safe and take care of yourself and your household, your friends, and near and dear ones. Until then, goodbye.